Good evening and welcome to the Reston Community Center Board of Governors monthly meeting this April 7th, 2025. I now call it to order. First order of business is approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the approval of the March 3rd board minutes.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the approval of the March 3rd board actions.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is the chair's remarks, and I am fresh from the show What You Know at Forest Edge Elementary School. That is fascinating. Somehow they should have that recorded because it's amazing what these kids come up with. My daughter does most of the writing and signing for my granddaughter, but some of the little kids write it themselves. There was a second grader who had a piece on the Renaissance, and I said, have you been to Paris? And she said, not yet. So
That's awesome.
she's working on that. And there was one little kid who had hockey. So he had an Ovechkin shirt that he had signed at some point, and he also had a video of the winning,
Nice.
you know, the shot on Sunday night. And one of the fathers came by and said, you better hold on to that shirt, that's worth money. So, but it's fascinating what these kids come up with. One little girl was cats, another boy was doing a whole thing on the Liverpool football team.
Football club. Yeah.
The football
Up the
club,
Reds.
that's right there.
Up the Reds.
Mm-hmm. He had it.
Red Dragons.
He had a whole thing. He wasn't getting a lot of people, and
Should have told me. I would have come by.
yeah, I'm saying it's amazing. But the thing that is so fascinating, and one of the things that I realized when my kids were in elementary school too, is the parents come out. That place was packed with parents. They were all there to see what their kids were going to do, and you go over and my Esme did cinnamon roll. Do you know cinnamon roll? Do you know that? Not the one you eat.
Oh, no. I know, but one cinnamon roll.
The cinnamon roll is a character, and there are 23 of them in the family, and it was created in Japan. Because she's got a since my other granddaughter is there for 3 years, she's got a Japanese fixation at the moment. But it was fascinating to see the different things. One girl had a whole thing on Taylor Swift. Somebody else did the Disney parks. It's fascinating, and they dress to go along with their whatever it is that they're showing that they know. Okay. This has been a week. And yes. This is a poem by Elizabeth Bishop. And I'm glad the orchestra is here. I am in need of music that would flow over my fretful feeling fingertips, over my bitter tainted trembling lips, with melody deep, clear, and liquid slow. Oh, for the healing, swaying, old and low, of some song sung to rest the tired dead, a song to fall like water on my head, and over quivering limbs, dream flushed to glow. There is a magic made by melody, a spell of rest and quiet breath, and cool heart that sinks through fading colors deep, to the subaqueous stillness of the sea, and floats forever in a moon-green pool, held in the arms of rhythm and of sleep. I need music. Next order of business is introduction of visitors. I met a young lady at one of our events the other night, she and her mother, but I think they had us confused with one of the other organizations because I said, we meet the first Monday of every month, and they said, oh, well, we were supposed to go somewhere on Tuesday. Not us, I don't know where they were gonna go. But they were excited about the RCC.
They could come here on Tuesday too. If
Yeah, they could.
Wardrobe?
Right? They'd miss us. Next order of business is citizen input, and we have no citizens tonight, so we will move on to the committee reports. The March 10th Community Relations Program Policy Joint.
Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
We have citizen input. Should it truly be citizen input or should it be resident?
Look what I wrote on here. I had that exact same comment. I had that exact same comment. Yeah.
Shall be
That's a
changed.
thing throughout the county. That's a
Because
thing throughout the
it
county.
is,
It's a thing
because
throughout
of
the
what
county.
we do and who we serve.
Yeah.
It should be, I think it should be resident.
I agree.
That shall be changed.
Whatever.
It's so funny. I literally-
Bill or Lisa?
Well, Bill was away, right? He
Yeah.
had grandparent duty, if I recall, so I guess.
I was
So-
away,
Yeah, I will.
and I had a fine time with my grandkids.
So now Lisa will tell you what you missed.
Well, we had our March 10th meeting, joint committee. There were not as many people as I thought we were gonna have here, but apparently there was an emergency meeting with another organization that night, so a lot of people that signed up to speak were not at our meeting. But we, Deb, you welcomed a few people, and then we we introduced the people from UVA who did the survey, and they went over that information for us. And then we also talked about our programs that were happening. But before we went into detail with that, is that the night? Yeah, we talked about the safety concerns here at the community center. There's an incident here. I'm not going to go into detail, but there's an incident here. BB was called from home, had to deal with that. People in the community were all concerned, but RCC is on top of it. They're working closely with Fairfax County Police, and there's been some changes that are happening. But one of the things that was stressed is that some of the people that were assisting or helping, the event happened outside, it wasn't inside, but some of the people who were helping and that are offered certain access to the community center during the day are allowed to be here. And some people just want them out, like, no, that's not who we are as a community. So we talked about that, talked to the policeman, and Fairfax County is gonna have a greater presence here on the plaza, just throughout the day and things like that. Because some people have expressed some concern coming in and out of the building really early in the morning and sometimes late at night. And then we went over the report of what RCC has been doing throughout the past year, the programs that we're having, the positive things that are coming into place. And we talked about I think we have the three major areas that we've seen some growth in that really are taking place at RCC: the fitness and wellness program, the lifelong learning, how we're growing access to classes. We're going to let those people, one of the things we've been working on is the people who are federal government employees and other people who have been affected by what's happening with the federal force reduction and things like that. We're going to have, they're going to have access to some of the classes at a reduced rate. And then there's a little bit of a debate and question discussing some of the challenging about offering the after-school program that's taking place at Dogwood. There's a lot of things happening, not just here, but within the community, within the county, about what could be where and shifting things around. So, we won't know about that until May, but RCC is going to be on board helping with that. We also will be starting on, I was about to say Meals on Wheels. Sorry, we're about to be starting RCC on Wheels, going out into the community and offering people things at different sites that are part of our community. And people are really excited about that. And it makes what we do here at the community more accessible. Some people don't have cars, getting across the toll road can be a big deal. Some kids, parents might be working during the day or whatever, but sometimes if you're in their community, we'll have more access to what we do. So everyone's looking forward to that. And then many people celebrate Reston was last Saturday. So people, why did we change the name? And that was just in the process of it. Is still Founders Day, but we're talking about celebrating all the great things about Reston. And I think that was mostly it. Well, one of the things, there's a few things, I'm not going into detail, but barriers to participation, that was one of the concerns that people bring up, like how do we get here? What do you offer? I'm always so surprised how many people do not know what RCC offers, but we need to detail what we offer and how we're getting out to the community more. And we're always trying to be inclusive with what we do. Sometimes that's fee waivers, sometimes it's getting out and letting know people what we do and let people know what we do. And then we had some community input, not a lot, but there was one woman who talked about, it was the first time she'd ever been here. She teaches some courses at the YMCA, and she wants to see if those it's a possibility for her to teach here. And what she offers seems to work out really well. We have a pool down there, and she does aqua yoga. And so I think it might be a great fit. And that was it. There was not, I thought we were gonna have a lot of people asking questions, you stand up, and that didn't happen. Some of our usuals from the meeting, and it was, it ended at 7:10, so it wasn't as long. That's what we thought. And then we have the minutes, so if you wanna read those, you can go into detail, but I was just trying to give you an overarching of what happened.
Thank you, Lisa. Next order of business is the approval of the report.
So moved.
So moved and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Next order of business is board member input on activities attended since last we were here, and we'll start with Shane.
Yeah, the month flew by again, but I attended the Cornerstones Gala last week with many of you. It was great to see Lila again, and she gave another powerful speech. It was a really good evening with a lot of friendly folks in the community.
So there's the rest of the stuff I'll get to, but the reason I missed the last meeting is we had to go out and help my son and his wife because she delivered a baby in the middle of the night, or well, the next morning, in fact.
Congratulations.
So, we have a new grandkid.
How many do you have now?
2 in California and 3 in Charlottesville, and I was just with them down in Florida. But, so I've done P&Z stuff, went to the Hands Off rally downtown, got back in time to see the rest of Celebrate Reston, and then I was at the meeting being held over at Langston Hughes about the special exception proposals, including the golf course, but it was going to be held till last, and they probably haven't even started that yet. Anyway, there'll be more P&Z stuff coming up later. That's it.
Let's see, the community relations meeting, the Cornerstones Gala, which was great. Celebrate Reston was really good. I like to focus on local authors, so it's good seeing a bunch of them. In a lot of meetings, we're in budget time, so I'm the budget chair for the Human Services Council, and this Skip is talking about budget stuff, and talking with Walter about budget stuff, so it's a lot of budget stuff going on right now. So if you have questions about what's going on there, because you've only heard about it, you aren't plugged in, let me know. And after the last meeting, went down to Richmond to watch the South Lakes boys win their 2nd consecutive state basketball championship.
That's exciting.
And so it's great because now there have been 3 total basketball championships, state championships for South Lakes. First one was won by Christy Winters, her maiden name, back in the 80s, and then her son. 2 of them just now. So all of them are thanks to the Winters family, which I think is fabulous, right? So anyway, that's about it.
And she wasn't there.
And she wasn't there, right? Because she was covering.
She was covering
NCAA.
She was at the finals.
Yeah.
She was at the finals,
Yes.
because my granddaughter got her autograph and a picture with her.
Yeah.
So,
So,
but she wasn't at the semifinals.
she wasn't at the semifinals that were here.
Yeah.
She was at the finals in Richmond.
Lots of meetings.
Lots of meetings. It's budget time.
Yeah.
It's budget time.
And it's an ugly one.
It's very ugly. We're looking at a 10% cut in parks, which is harsh. So we've been meeting with all the supervisors Walter, friends groups and such, so it's been tough. I attended the Cornerstones event, and then the highlight of Saturday, on top of Celebrate Reston, was the 33rd annual grand opening
the parade.
day parade at the town
Parade.
center. And I was there.
Nice.
Neat. Do you lead the parade, Bill, or you just
I
participate?
don't, but I started the parade 33 years
Yeah,
ago with
that's
Jim
so
Cleveland.
cool. Wow.
Yeah. When he was at Mobile Land,
Yep.
That's, that,
And he
that-
gave us
that needs
permission to
be
do it.
right? I've been here all the time.
33 years ago. Not that I'm aged.
As young as ever.
That's right.
Well, I attended the March 10th Community Relations joint policy meeting. It was, like I said, gave us information about where we are, RCC, and the people that we serve. We come out always very happy, so that was neat. I also attended a couple of board members. I'm a liaison to the Southgate Community Center, Kathy Hutchins Center. So they're doing a lot of things. They're trying to get a scholarship set up for some of the kids that attend there. They are in the process, they're gonna get a new HVAC system and something else, so they'll be shut down for a little bit in the summer, so they're trying to figure out all the great programs they offer. They're kind of going out to different places in Reston, so hearing about that is, to me, it seems very daunting, but they're working on a lot of people opening spaces, Dogwood's opening, RCC's looking at options here, so there's a lot going on there for a community that seems to serve a population sometimes that really needs it, so, and there's quite a few things going on there. I did not get to attend Celebrate Reston. I really wish I had, but I felt not obligated. I really wanted to go downtown. I wasn't gonna, but I went down to the I call it the rally, but the protest, hands-off protest. They thought it was gonna be 10 to 20,000. It was 100,000 strong, if not more. It was packed, but it was very positive, very quiet. Had a lot of pictures of the signs, and it was, to me, it was very good to see people now getting activated. I don't know how much it'll change things, but people, the signs were good. People were hopefully trying to get some change. But yeah, it was good to see folks who the weather wasn't so great, and it didn't rain, but we'll see. And that was mostly it. I wanted to attend Bev's present. I was at your concert, but I got called away at the last minute to be a grandparent. Grandkids were out of school, and they needed someone to do that, so we were it. So I apologize, but I knew you had a phenomenal concert, Bev, and I'm sorry that I missed it. I've been there before, and if you have never seen Bev be in concert, I know we've all heard saying, you definitely should go. It is like being at Broadway. So I apologize for that. And that's, I think that's everything I attended.
And we had Howard this time.
I know, you're right. Listen, I was really upset.
It was funny because Mary Jackson said, "I'm so glad Ralph is back." She was calling Howard Ralph. She said, because that other girl was good, but Ralph is great. She's 93.
Yeah, she's allowed to say
She
it.
can call it.
Yeah.
Well, I attended the semifinals of the South Lakes basketball team, and I was so happy to see how vocal the Reston fans are.
They are.
They let people know exactly how we felt about the ball.
Oh,
My kind of people. Anyway, so that was fun. I attended Lila's, the gala for the Cornerstones and the meeting of the 10th. And watched a lot of basketball. And I'm going to go into mourning now that March Madness is almost over. But my Huskies came through.
Yeah, kudos.
Was at the March 10th community meeting. Despite the lower attendance, I think it went
It went really well, yeah.
Yeah, another great success. Congratulations, BB, and be part of the team now also.
That's right.
Yeah, it's really great. That kind of stuff is fascinating, but it's so tough to pull off. So, yeah, that was a great meeting. Went to the gala or the Cornerstones celebration. That was also great. Was at the enormous egg hunt. Sorry, the underwater egg hunt. Enormous is this Saturday.
It is Saturday.
We were at the underwater area here, got to hang out with Matt for a little bit, which was really fun. Callan had never done that before. I didn't know what to expect, but there were 3,000 plastic eggs floating in the pool.
So-
It was a little different from what we usually do swimming, it's just, the pool. But that was great. The staff did a fantastic job.
Oh, how cute.
And then the last thing, Celebrate Reston. Speaking of local authors, we bought a book. The principal of Forest Edge wrote a book. It's about the principal's office not being a scary place. It should be a place that you want to, go and seek out, advice or just if you want to say hello. We haven't read it yet, but we bought it on Saturday, so we're going to read it if I make it back in time for bedtime routine. So let's get going then.
Okay, so when I mentioned some things that I know I saw people there, you'll remember that you were there too. Lunasa, the volunteers dinner, and Alash, the throat singers, which was just,
Phenomenal.
that was emotional. That and Jeremy Dutcher the other night were totally emotional events for me because these people are trying to keep alive something that's dying. And it's amazing how much of our history and all over the world is being abandoned. The joint meeting, the Yumi Kurosawa trio, that was fantastic too. The Kodo. She was, and I wanted Lisa to be there because of the
drum
percussions. He played all of these different drums that some I've never seen before. It was just an amazing evening. And I did my Meet the Artists, and I did something that I never did when I was younger. When I was younger and I had to do a show, I told this one accompanist, and he said, "Gosh, that's awful. It would take me 3 months to learn a song because I thought it had to be perfect." I did My Way for her. And that was the first time I've ever sung it in public. And you,
I forgot one.
yes, and your plus one were at Hot Peas and Butter. The Cornerstones fundraiser, talk about the South Lakes. Forest Edge had this celebration of their little basketball thing, and my granddaughter, I hate to say this in public, has no rhythm. But she is in the pep squad. And so we went to see them do their little thing, and it was set up between Lake Ann and Forest Edge. And Lake Ann's has some really good girls. Forest Edge, not so good. So they got kind of creepy. The Cornerstone, the Celebrate Reston, Jeremy Dutcher. That, nobody can explain that to you. That was an emotional evening that just got into your core because he's keeping alive the language of his tribe and the music that's been forgotten. He's from Canada, and his voice just cut through you like a knife. It was amazing. And like I said, I just came from the Show What You Know, and that was great. And I do rehearsals with the Mosaic Harmony, and we've had one concert, and we're working on our big concert for June. So when you think I'm at home, just lying around the bonbons, I'm not.
Can I have one more thing?
Yes,
We lost a great Restonian.
we did.
We did. A great teacher and friend of the center, Margaret Boyd.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Who
there's
passed away.
No way.
and there's gonna be a celebration of that.
Lake Ann.
Lake Ann.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Lake Ann.
prayers to her family.
Yeah, well,
She was a great lady. Teachers changed lives.
Yeah.
yeah.
And also, Betsy Keith.
Betsy Keefe also
She
passed away
Oh.
a couple of weeks ago.
I have this one story. I remember early on when I had just met Betsy and my daughter, who was a nut, we were in the grocery store and I said, oh my gosh, that's Bill Keefe's wife, and I can't think of her name. She said, what's his name? She said, Keith. And she said, is her name Georgia O? And so that was always a big joke between me and Betsy whenever I'd see her say, hello, Georgia O. So, but that was terrible. She, almost 4 years.
Yeah, keep them in your prayers. That was rough.
That was,
Yeah.
and I just saw him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, same, I just saw him this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's a shame. Yep, she got sick just right at the time my mom had her stroke.
Yeah. It's-
Yeah.
She's young, but come on.
Okay, the next order of business is the truncated executive
Wow.
director.
Absolutely.
report.
No pressure.
Can I borrow your pen?
Yes.
What time is too long?
3:30. All right, let's go, BB. Ah! So it was a really, really busy month. It was really difficult to boil down into one page, Bill, but I'm gonna speed through this because I know game night. So in facilities, we instituted the manager on duty system. Brianne and Pam has done a phenomenal job, and it's going to be paying off for years to come. Without internal processes. $4,000 has been awarded to the federal employee fee waiver program that we launched on the March 10th. So we're just kind of tracking that to see, how much we grow month by month. The Lila Gordon Theater sign is going to be installed on a week of April 14th, and it will stay covered until April 30th when we have our CAPA reaccreditation reception. We're combining the unveiling with that reception at the same night. So I think it'll make it a little bit more celebratory.
Is that gonna be at 6 o'clock on the 30th?
It's gonna be 5 to 7.
5 to 7?
Yeah. The invite, I'm finalizing it right now. Brianne and I just met on that, so it should be coming out tomorrow. If you walked in, you saw that we completed the cleanup of the landscaping project, so
That's good.
we can't wait to see some of the flowers and things pop up around here and making it look more cheery. In equity, Latanja did her annual prom dress giveaway, and it was the busiest year I've ever seen. It was beautiful. She did the whole cherry blossom theme. 331 teens came through, 105 was at the door when we opened. 232 dresses were given out with rooms full of accessories and jewelry. It was just amazing. I love that event. We're starting to pilot a disposable biodegradable towel program because we've seen an uptick in the number of users that are using our shower programs. And when that happens, our napkin dispensers are just completely depleted very quickly, and it just kind of gets a little overwhelming. So we're instituting this towel program where we're going to issue one per person a day to see, and then just reevaluate the use and see if it offsets, the cost and other paper napkins and things like that.
It's like when the music was coming on. It's following the voice.
And then AARP's in the last rush, so our buildings is pretty filled with tax filers every day. In community connections, the Saturday community coffee continues to grow. The outreach has been tremendous. Asia has been capitalizing on different themes, and for March, she did Pie Day, and all the guests were treated to pies, and she now adds an activity to it. So they had over 200. The next one is going to be on April 12th that coincides with Green Reston out on the plaza. And the Hunters Woods Neighborhood Coalition is piggybacking off of that and also launching a community cleanup. So it's going to be a really, active, we're trying to activate the Hunters Woods Plaza in a more positive way. So I'm looking forward to being there for all of that. I know Lila would have loved to be here, but she initiated the Cornerstones membership card program, and that has picked up again. And Pam, Brianne, and I are kind of shepherding that, and they're looking to roll that out in July in the new fiscal year. So we're excited about that as well. In programs and services, gosh, the team has done a phenomenal job. Matt has added 190 additional spots to ameliorate all the wait lists for the swim lessons. And all but 14 are filled. So we're being very flexible and adjusting to the needs and using data to drive programs and moving things around to make sure that we're accommodating all the wait lists. The Terry L. Smith and their instructors are so highly regarded in the region that we're now seeing, pretty much the training center for certifying lifeguards in the regions. We're doubled up on the number of lifeguard classes we have in April, and it's already completely full. So 69 are enrolled in 6 lifeguard training sessions. That's double from March. And then you mentioned aqua yoga. Thank you so much, because we took the input that we got from the March 10th, and we're offering aqua yoga starting in May, 2 days a week. So that's how quickly we're able to pivot, and very excited about the way that aquatics has really, kind of heat the community with feedback and input. Summer registrations is at 73% capacity. Fee waiver use is about $65,000 thus far. And you talked about when schools come together, the people show up. We had over 800 attendees at the 2 exhibit receptions because of the Youth Art Month. So between the 3 exhibitions we have in the 3D gallery, the one here at Hunters Woods and the one at Lake Ann, those receptions was just overwhelming, and I just love the art because it was just so thought-provoking and shows the depth of our youth here in Ruston. And I learned today that those 3 exhibitions fulfill an important county mandate for a joint public pyramid exhibitions across all of the school's art departments. So I thought that was a really cool kind of trivia to share with the board. In communications, the Avaya phone system is now in transition in phase 1. Chris Higgins is doing a phenomenal job managing all of that. We just implemented a tracking tool a few months ago. I updated you guys on the RCC now has a language access plan. And so we've implemented that into, and we're tracking to see how many of those interpreter requests and translations requests are coming in. So we'll have more data to share. RCC participated in the county's rollout of the 311 service, and it's to automate call routing. And so if a Ruston resident call into 311 at the county and they're a Ruston resident, it will route them to the right agency, or if they're looking for recreational leisure services, it will route to RCC. So I think that's going to be coming in the next few months, the rollout of the 311 service. Patron satisfaction survey, we're automating that too, and we've already seen a significantly increase in the number of patrons' responses. More good news, this is the first year that our communications department submitted a submission to the prestigious Blue Pencil and Gold Screen Award. And we found out that we had won one of the awards that we submitted for our e-news. And we don't know if it's first, second, or third place, but we'll find out at the award ceremony. So Lorna will be representing RCC to accept that award. And in stewardship and accreditation, a lot of work, a lot of meetings have been held, and we're getting super, super close. We're only 3 weeks away from our site visit. The reception invites will be going out very shortly. Brian Gannon is participating in a virtual CAPRA review right before our site visit. So any last minute preparations, I think, would be beneficial. He'll bring that back to us. And I learned today that he just got inducted into becoming the chair of the BRPS Leadership Training Institute Board. So more good news on our staff front. And FY27 budget requests have come in. Renata and I will be reviewing and approving them. And if I have any questions, I'll be sitting down with department heads to go over them. Succession planning and workforce planning is happening as well. Sherry Danaher, our arts education director, is slated to retire the end of the year. So we're looking to see what changes we need to make in order to shore up and get ready for that recruitment. And then in the activity front, I think I've been to a lot of meetings. Because of the incident early March, I've been sort of invited to attend a lot of public safety meetings to update everybody on, sort of the things that RCC is doing, as well as what the Hunters Woods Plaza and the Hunters Woods Neighborhood Coalition are doing. Cornerstone Faith Council meeting, the volunteer appreciation dinner. Hunters Woods Neighborhood Coalition had many, many meetings. I met with Hunterville District Supervisor Alcorn. He and two of his team members came to meet with me last Friday. And we talked extensively about how to activate the Hunters Woods Plaza. So I'll be meeting with staff this week to see, what plans we can come up with. I attended the Public Art Reston Board retreat, a lot of town halls, especially the Hunterville Budget Town Hall. It doesn't impact us in terms of our budget, but it was really good to hear about the concerns in the community so that we can see where we can bridge those gaps. And what I've heard was a lot of after-school programs. And so that is something that I think Lila had the foresight. And, I think the principal of Dogwood had the foresight and had come to us. So right now we're sort of waiting. I just learned from Andy Siegel at the Celebrate Reston that they're consolidating all of the summer schools, all the Title I schools, to Lake Ann Elementary. So the summer school goes from 9 to 1, so we'll look to see how we can bridge the gap from 1 to 5:30. So more to come on that. Yeah. Brianne and I had a really, really successful kickoff. We had a new leadership kickoff team builder with our entire team, and just to set the tone and the vision and what we anticipate the things that we want people to kind of be getting ready for. And it was very, very well received, so that was exciting for us. And I also attended the Cornerstones Gala. I thought it was just so heartwarming, and to have, the community come together. It's been a while, and it was very, very, it's good to see how the community stepped up and supported Cornerstones. And then the only other thing that I did that I don't think anybody mentioned was that the Washington Dulles Marriott, they had a huge renovations. So they had an open, they invited all the chamber board to come and tour. And it's really a beautiful space. So if you have the opportunity, check that out. And other than that, I have a couple of important reminders that I wanted to make sure you are aware. In May, we have
Is that new or continuing?
Sorry, I jumped ahead. My bad.
Is there any continuing business? Is there any new business?
Yes, there are.
Okay.
Wow.
That really is in rare form. Okay, so the fishling, we got the good news, more good news. We were selected to be this year's starfish. So that's sort of yeah. So,
Sorry,
we-
what does this mean?
this is
Sounds
the,
great.
I guess we'll have to go up and accept another
An
award.
award.
Lila started that and it's just been on a roll. So we were selected as this year's starfish. So I'll be working with Bev and Bill to see, you know, in terms of what that means, what remarks we'll be giving, and then I will be getting all of your RSVPs and your dietary restrictions, as I normally do. So that is on May 10th. It's Saturday at the Crown Plaza, Dulles Airport in Herndon at 6 o'clock.
What's the name of it again?
It's the Fish Fling
It's the fish
Gala.
fling.
Is that before,
But
the
we've been
Saturday before
named the
Mother's Day, right?
starfish.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a big time. That means you're helping the people.
Yeah.
I know the
It's-
fish fling.
It's sort of like
Oh,
cornerstones on
That's right,
a,
I missed this last year.
Yeah.
and then on Friday, May 16th, we have the Leadership Fairfax Board of Supervisors breakfast. It's gonna be Broadway themed.
Oh.
So I'm looking forward to that, more music. If you wanna hear music, you can hear music there. I don't know if the board supervisors are gonna perform, but
Oh, they don't do something.
Very tough.
If
Casey will have them do it.
Casey has anything to do with it, they will.
so that is on a Friday, and of course, it's a breakfast, so it's very early. Lila used to drop this all the time because it's at 7:30 in
It's
the
at 7,
morning.
yeah, she have to leave early. It's early. They start and they get up out of there and just go work that day.
Right. This year, Supervisor Alcorn can't attend with us. Typically, he sits with our table. So I picked Supervisor Walkinshaw. So he'll be our board guest at our table. But please be on the lookout and help me put the RSVP list together and mail them back. And if you have any dietary restrictions, I know you don't like shellfish.
No, I'm allergic to it.
You always have.
You'll kill her. We need her.
Anaphylaxis, anything that crawls. I can eat seafood, anything that crawls.
Toddlers.
Toddler, I was about to say toddlers included. No, I like my toddler.
They will make you sick all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a little long, but it was a very busy month. That's it.
No, it's fine.
Okay, is there any other new business? Are there any words that anybody needs to say? You don't save them up month to month?
Nope.
Okay.
It's been a long week. Let's just start.
The April 7th, 2025 meeting of the Reston Community Center Board of Governors is now officially adjourned.
All right.